Hey everybody, this is PJ Ferguson welcoming you to the first official Inner Peace podcast. I did an introductory podcast last week, but this one is the first official one, kicking off the 2018 year. Hopefully this is the best year ever for everyone. I kind of feel like things in the world have been a bit rough for probably everybody in the world, and I'm not the only one who shares that sentiment. So here's to just wishing that 2018 is your best year ever. Well, yet. Hopefully they just keep getting better. So to kick off this year, I chose a topic that I think is probably the most important topic we can ever talk about, which is loving yourself. And like I shared in the last podcast, my goal is to keep these videos about 5 minutes long. My hope is to keep them short enough that they don't take a lot of time for you to get really good, pertinent information that you can use in your life starting instantly. So the format I've chosen is to kind of tell you what the topic is, maybe share a quote or a story, maybe both. I want to give you some takeaways, some solid ideas that you can take away with you to think about or to actually implement, and then give you some actual homework ideas that, again, you can start implementing peace and happiness in your life immediately. So the topic today is loving yourself, and I chose a quote from Lucille Ball, one of my favorite people ever, and she said, "Love yourself first, and everything else falls into line. You really have to love yourself to get anything done in this world." Now, I chose the quote because I like it, and because I love Lucille Ball. I was hesitant to record this podcast because I wasn't feeling it quite yet, and I didn't understand why until in the last 24 hours I had an encounter. So I am going to share kind of a personal story to go along with it. The quote that this person was really just attacking me for talking about negative topics, and you should know about my approach to peace and happiness is a very practical, real-life approach. I don't want to give you some Pollyanna stuff that comes out of nowhere. I want to share things that come from my own life experience. And yes, I've tried these things. I know that they work. And this topic of love yourself first and everything else falls into line, after about a full day of being under attack on a social network by this lady who was really mad at me for talking about anything negative, I had to do some checking in with myself and say, okay, I wasn't quite self-doubting, but I really had to take some pause and say, where could I be going wrong, potentially? What could I be doing better? And in the end, I really felt great about being within my integrity, but there was some major resistance as to, okay, this person is hating on me. They're really dumping on me. So when I came back to this quote by Lucille Ball, I got a new insight as to who she was. She was a woman in a male-dominated world, and she faced untold amounts of resistance trying to accomplish what she felt drawn to, what she was passionate about, which included educating people, entertaining people, and helping people lift their moods and feel better about life. And she did a marvelous job at it. Not only was she successful at entertaining people, she was a successful businesswoman. So she probably faced a lot of hatred and resistance to just being who she was within her own integrity. So I love her for that, and I love the statement that she was able to say. So some of the takeaways that I want to give to you are that haters are going to hate. You're going to encounter haters everywhere you go in this life. There's lots of wonderful people in this world, but there's also haters. And the more hate and resistance you experience in life, that's just the much more that you need to love yourself, because loving yourself is going to empower you to be who you were born to be. Okay? So haters are going to hate, but don't let them drag you down. Don't let them stop you. Don't let them doubt yourself. Just give yourself that much more love. Everyone has a destiny to fulfill. You were born for a purpose, to be you, and to bring all the light and the love and the talents and gifts that you were born with into this world and to share them. So The more you love yourself, the better you are going to be empowered to do what you were born to do. So go do that. Um, and another thought is life is harder when you're fighting against yourself. If you don't love yourself, you're really not going to accomplish what you were born to, because you'll be too busy fighting against your own self, your own inner demons, your own doubts, self-doubts. So stop trying to live up to other people's expectations of who you should be, how you should be living your life, or even the paradigms and perspectives that you should be approaching reality with. You need to do life your way and to the best of your ability. And the way you're going to unlock that power is through love and loving yourself, okay? Just a few more takeaways that I have for you is that when you start doubting yourself, you need to remember that you are already everything you need to be. If you're anything like me, you may have spent a lot of time maybe feeling envy or jealousy towards other people, seeing things that other people have, whether it's possessions or personal attributes that you feel like they have that you don't. And don't waste your time with that. If you feel so strongly about what somebody has, chances are you already have that within you. You just need to spend all that energy, instead of on jealousy and envy, you need to spend that energy investing in yourself and your ability to unlock those things in yourself, okay? So you're already everything you need to be. A thought for how to love yourself, because if, again, you're anything like me, you may have found it difficult to love yourself. I struggled with it a lot. Kind of a stepping stone that I used to loving myself was just accepting myself as I am, at who I am, and again, that jealousy, that envy, those things that we wish we had because we feel like we're not, stop doing that. Accept yourself exactly as you are. You're okay, you're wonderful, you're beautiful. Your existence here on this planet is really a miraculous and beautiful thing, so embrace that. And if you have difficulty embracing it, start by accepting it, okay? So once you can accept it, start embracing it, and then start loving. If you have to baby step your way to self-love, do it one step at a time, okay? And the next thought for loving yourself, if you need some thoughts as to how to exercise kindness and compassion. If you don't love yourself, at least treat yourself with kindness and compassion, okay? And that is going to unlock some of those doors to loving yourself completely. So take a look at your self-speak, the mental chatter that you have going on. Look at the different habits that you might have, choices that you make, and use the measuring stick of love as to, is this a loving thought or feeling or belief or action or decision? And if it's not loving, if it's not kind, if it's not compassionate towards yourself, don't do it. Choose the kind choice. Choose the kind and compassionate thoughts. Use kind and compassionate words about yourself. So after all that, I would like to leave you with some homework. And this week's homework is pretty simple. Just going to keep it simple. The first part is identify 2 thoughts or behaviors or habits or patterns in your life that are not self-loving, that are not self-kind or self-compassionate. Write them down. It's always good to record these kind of things. But just identify some things that you might be doing that are not kind or compassionate or loving towards yourself. And the second part of this homework is think of some beliefs or words or thoughts or decisions or habits that you can replace those with that are kind, that are compassionate, and write those down. If you need to come up with a mantra that's a self-loving mantra, write that down and put those positive thoughts everywhere, at work, in your car, at home. Surround yourself with those positive messages that support you as a human being and support you loving yourself. So that is the end of today's Inner Peace podcast. My goal is to put out a podcast or a vlog each week, so keep an eye out for those. I would love to hear your thoughts, your feedback. I'd love to hear your stories, your struggles. Maybe once you implement some of these ideas or these thoughts, or you're struggling working them into your life, share those with me, share those with our social networks. The point of this is to create a community of people who are practicing peace and practicing happiness. None of us is perfect. We're just doing our best. So let's practice it and let's support each other in that. Thank you for being here. Sending you peace, love, and joy. And I'll see you next time.